Grateful for the kind introduction. Thank you very, very much. I have a speech, and then when I get here, I change it all. I come up with a little piece of paper like that. Don't judge me, please, and do what you want with it to the reporters. In any case, I want to actually recognize what's going on here in its fullest form. I had the benefit to talk to Martha, and thus this piece of paper was generated. And I want to congratulate her for this evening, but more important, for what she created, right? This doesn't happen. These things don't happen, right? You know, you get a room full of people all dedicated to it, you know. So, Martha, God bless you, and thank you for what you do. And that kind of gets to the topic of public service. You know, when I think Martha said, if you are a public service member or a public servant, I'm not exactly sure exact words she used, stand up. I was actually surprised, and this isn't a negative, but surprised at how many people weren't, right? I don't know what thought I had in my head that caused me not to recognize maybe more than half the room would not stand up. And for me, this has been a great time from the minute I walked in the door. And, you know, I am blessed to have at my table a superstar, or called here a rising star, who's from Prescott, Arizona, and the whole Prescott, Arizona team, who you might find surprising, I've communicated with before. I've been on video with them, and I was so happy to see them. Now we have others. We have others, you know, including somebody who worked right beside me and works beside us in the agency and is a huge contributor, Dustin Brown. You know, so the SSA, so because we had so many people coming, I didn't realize, you know, we did actually until I got focused on it. That was before these notes, by the way. Because I knew I made a commitment to Prescott I would be here this evening. And it's just a reminder, and I like to tell people that when I was a CEO, I was asked once early in my CEO time, over 13 years ago, somebody said, you know, tell us something that got you here. And I blurted something out that I'd never said before. I said, I am the beneficiary of being the son of an orphan. And I called my sister that night because my father never said he was an orphan, and we never called him an orphan. We only talked about the fact his parents died by the time he was 9. And when I called my sister, she said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, did Dad lose his parents by the time he was 9? Yes, that's an orphan." But she was thinking, well, he wasn't in an orphanage. He got shuttled around. He had 14 brothers and sisters, and he was the next youngest, so he got shuttled around. And so I was the beneficiary of that. I was also the beneficiary of a federal government employee who spent 44 years and was an Albert Gallatin Award recipient and my role model. And I entered the job believing federal employees are great. My dad was. So I was never a federal employee till now. But, you know, one of the people who shaped my life more than anybody, my dad. So I may come at this from a different angle. And I was asked the other day about what's it like? You're a big CEO. It's on TV or I was on the radio. You're a big CEO. You transform companies. What's it like to be in the federal government? And I said, and I knew where they were going with it. I said, let me tell you, I go to field office once a week. And our field office people are fabulous. And then I started rattling through how good our team is and how good our people are. And being at an event that celebrates the customer experience, that is the genius of Martha, right? That is the genius of Martha, right? And to sit somewhere where I think we have everyone from the VA to the patent office, which I learned their trademark today is an R for registered. Everybody knew that, right? I didn't. Come on, tell the truth. Half of you didn't either, right? You could put that in the paper too. He didn't know the trademark symbol was an R. You know, we all are in an unbelievable position to help the country and help the people of the country every day. And the customer experience is changing. I'm going to ask everybody to do me a favor. Were they supposed to silence their phones, the people? Can you all show, everybody who has, let's just do it this way. Everybody who has a cell phone, raise your hand. If you have a cell phone. Huh. So what revolution are we in? The technology revolution, right? We at SSA talk about having 200 million digital users. That's a bold goal for next year. But what you hear tonight will be all about transformation of the client experience from every group. And I love the fact that, I hope I have this right, that retired federal employees are the judges. Do I have that right? That's their time and energy. And who's better to be the judges? And then we have nominees, right? A lot of effort goes into this system, and I think it's high motivation for the orgs, right? And so, you know, let's remember what we're doing here. We're celebrating good work for the American public so they could have a better client experience. I say the biggest investment we will make in the federal government will be in technology. And I said to one of my fellow secretaries today, I said, you know, we should be defined by what the largest part of our workforce will be, right? And in many cases, I believe that should be technologists. That won't be true in every one of these, but what we're going to do across the board, and you could see the myriad of awards here and the myriad of orgs and how much tech can drive the agenda. So I know that at SSA, but I know that that will be an overriding theme as we go through the evening. I think that, yes, I could attest to you. We have made a lot of progress in a short period of time. And I can attest to you, we will make a ton more progress every day. And so the opportunities across us is large. The fact that Martha has created something to recognize it is outstanding. The part that sponsors come together and are motivated by this is really an art to itself. And so, and I do appreciate all your time here. I'm now at the overtime, so the list is out the window. God bless America. Thank you for what you do. Thank you.